Get me out of here. I hate it here.
Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.
And
Hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 44 of Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
And we got a whole nother week of hockey stuff, hockey news, some big ones.
Yeah, it's a big one, and it's not all dark and sad and dreary like last time.
No, it's not, thankfully. In fact, we got a hype one to start.
Yeah, you want to roll right into it?
Tristan Jarry.
Oh, buddy.
Goalie goal alert the other night
It's got to make Big J happy.
Big J. How we feeling about the goalie goal? Feeling good? Oh, yeah. We love it. We should run that clip.
Off against them. It's all Kane. The extra attacker comes on. Here's Jarry with an empty net. Scores! Tristan Jarry with an empty net goal.
Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see the goalies. Anytime. It's just a great moment in hockey.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would have liked it to not be Pittsburgh. I don't know. They have enough going for them. But good for Jarry.
Speaking of having enough going for them, if they get this power play humming, how do you feel about long shot Erik Karlsson back-to-back Norris? He looks good there, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
He looks like, to me, he looks like prime Erik Karlsson right now. Like, he's driving play when he's on the ice.
Yeah, but like Quinn Hughes leads the league.
No,
in points.
I totally get that. And right now it's clearly him and Makar, right?
Yeah, I just like, I don't like, yeah, he's having an incredible season that none of us really saw. And it's like,
yeah,
in any other year, it might very well be award worthy.
Sure.
But God, those kids are playing their asses off
are.
right now. Like, I don't think you can deny the greatness that's coming from the youth. Like,
if I had to pick who's going to win it this year, I actually I think it'll be Makar. He's got the, name recognition. I think that Hughes has a Norris in his future, but I do think he needs a year like this one where he's like in the 2-horse race.
Yeah.
First, you know what I mean? Before he actually gets the award, he needs a year where like, oh, it's him or someone else. Karlsson, that's more someone that I could see, like, if you can get really good odds, like as a long shot, I'd take that.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's early.
Yeah.
It's very early.
Yeah.
But I'd go out on a limb and say that Hughes not getting it would be an upset. That would be like Kendrick at the Grammys type upset.
Oh, that's a big one.
Like,
Makar's points per game, I think, is higher than Hughes's now because Makar missed a few.
Yeah, but I mean, also you have to look at like who he's deployed with all the time.
I mean, that's been kind of the thing their whole careers, right? In terms of the Hughes Makar conversation has been, yeah, I mean, look who Makar gets to play with.
Yeah,
look who Hughes is playing with.
And Hughes is like directly driving the play.
Yeah.
Whereas
always.
Makar is benefiting from the play being driven by someone else.
He is a play driver as well, but
he is. Don't get me wrong.
There's a lot of plays that he gets in on that he doesn't have to be the driver on.
Yeah, he is a fantastic facilitator. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah,
he is
one of the best in the world.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic play driver, and the creativity is off the charts.
Yeah.
But so is everyone else on his line.
Totally.
Or on the ice in general, because he plays top minutes, so he's usually only playing with line 1 or 2, realistically.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah. I totally get that. I mean, this year it makes it a little bit tougher of a conversation because Vancouver has been historically awful. But, I mean, they got some play drivers out on the ice with Quinn sometimes now, too. I mean, Miller looks great this year. PD doesn't look great, yet is still somehow, like, pretty close to leading the league in points because he's just a wizard. And, I mean, Brock Besser is suddenly Alex Ovechkin. Who would have thought?
Weird.
Yeah.
Just super weird. I mean, you have to expect it to tail out at some point. There's no way that this is just going to keep going through the season. If it does, that's like good for you. But
I think it already has. I like they're 500 through their last 10 games. They're in kind of a rough patch, like compared to the blistering start they had, which I mean, that's what we talked about, right? This team goes up and down. They're gonna have some times where they look the best ever. They're gonna have some times where they look like they do right now, which is kind of just mid. And I won't be surprised if there's some moments where it looks like the bottom is falling out, and then they look like elite contenders again. They're just it's just the Vancouver way, baby.
Yeah, I saw a stat the other day, and it kind of raised my eyebrows, but also it's kind of one of those like looking for problems in the wrong places sort of stat.
Sure.
You gotta weight it a bit, but I wouldn't put too much into it.
Yeah.
And it was the wins against playoff contenders versus wins
Right.
versus teams not currently in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the difference was stark.
Yeah. I saw that one too. 15 wins against teams in a playoff spot, 3 wins against teams. Or 3 wins against teams in a playoff spot, 15 against teams not in a playoff spot. Yes, that does look bad, and it's not a stat you want. However, like it is kind of a cherry-picked stat because like Vancouver has also just kind of played more non-playoff teams. What do you want?
I mean, the West is kind of a disaster.
Yes, it's been a disaster. And then also, like, I think one of the separators of good teams and bad teams can be the ruthlessness of beating down on worse opponents.
I was going to say that too, actually. So, yeah.
And so I don't mind when you play the teams that are worse than you, always beating them. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you should do, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would be exceptionally concerned about a team that takes every non-contender lightly and doesn't know how to turn on the intensity.
Yeah.
Because, like, are you going to be intense in the playoffs, or are you not going to be in practice to do that?
Totally. And I mean, you watch those quote unquote bad teams, and they'll win games against good teams and lose against worse teams or bad quote unquote teams all the time, right? You look at Arizona's record against the Leafs the past couple years, right? Arizona's like owned the Leafs. Does that mean Arizona's better than the Leafs? No, it means that the Leafs just don't take them seriously. And Arizona plays their nuts off because they know that Toronto's a good team, you know?
Yeah, well, it's like the Devils. They've lost to the Sharks twice this year. What are you doing?
That's horrifying.
It's awful. But they don't look like they're trying. They don't look like they take it seriously.
No, they don't. Yeah, that's the problem.
It got to the third period before they actually gave a damn.
Yeah.
And they were already in a hole against a team that was...
I hate when that happens. The Canucks did that the other night, too, against the Ducks. I thought they did. It looked like they didn't do much till the third, and I was like, stop it. When you played San Jose earlier this year, you stomped them. It was 8-0 after 2, you know? Like, when you play teams that bad, that's what it should be. Just put your foot down early so you don't have to try and play catch-up later.
Yeah, and then you're not taking all of these massive hits because did you see San Jose play in the third?
Yeah.
They were playing like it was a playoff game.
Yeah.
They wanted that win.
Yeah. And, like, they deserved it.
Yeah.
They really did.
They outplayed them. They outskated them. They outhit them. They outblocked them. They outchanced them.
So I know I had it later on the list here, but I actually let's go into New Jersey.
Sure.
There's actually a couple really interesting things happening here. The news in Jersey is Dougie Hamilton. He's gone to IR. That's an indefinite injury. It sucks to see, especially on from a group that's needing the help right now and needing the defensive help right now.
Oh, big time.
That hurts quite a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty damning.
How do you feel about pulling a Vegas Golden Knights here?
I wouldn't feel bad about it at all, honestly. And like, I don't even think that like you could really treat it like as dirty as the Knights, you know, as far as narratives, because like a standard pec injury takes 4 to 6 months to recover from anyways,
right.
Which puts you on playoffs anyways. So like indefinite IR to playoffs is kind of like,
Yep.
yeah, you're not going to play him the day before playoffs.
No.
Like that's nonsensical. Why? So he can get hurt again? Like
Totally.
You're just going to hold him till playoffs.
So yeah, I mean, Dougie, you put him on an IR, hold him for those 4 months or whatever, and that gives you $9 million in cap space to try and add someone for the playoffs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, I will say this. If, like, Dougie made a miraculous recovery, got surgery tomorrow, and was ready to go in 2 months before playoffs, I'd feel a little dirty about it. I'd feel differently. But as it stands right now with, like, standard timetables for these injuries, I don't feel bad at all. But
No,
this is what LTIR is for.
Yeah, you find out what the injury looks like, right? You give it a couple months, I think. You wait till the deadline. Or at least till, deadline season starts getting underway, right? Early February or whatever. And find out what the actual timetable is going to be and how that's going, and try and just weather the storm until then, which I think you guys have the talent to be able to do, even if it hasn't been going very well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Devils' flaws come from like a systemic level.
Looks like it, yeah.
It's just a system that this team isn't necessarily built to play, and also it's not a system I'd value in the first place. If you watch the Devils play in their own end, it's atrocious.
It's a little bit hard to watch, yeah.
They play 4 low and always leave the point man high.
Yeah.
And they play it on the premise that they're going to win the initial battle.
Sure.
Which is great when you do.
Sure.
Fantastic. You give them 5 seconds in your zone, bip bap out.
Bip bap out.
But it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
And then you're exploited because you have 4 low and you have a guy drifting high in the slot or from the blue walking into the slot to just go rip city. And it always happens. It happens at least once every second game.
It's like not what you want to see, is it?
Yeah, I could make a scrapbook of Devils floating way too low on a dot.
It's just a definitive high-end, high-danger chance every time.
Yeah, exactly. And like I get the principle behind the play, but this team doesn't have the capability to win those initial board battles every time. You don't have oversized forwards on every line.
Right.
So running that play just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not conducive to success with this line.
Yeah.
And they just get exploited time and time again by players that shouldn't even really exploit them, but you give them just such a juicy goddamn chance. It's shooting practice.
Right. 100%. You also got Brandon Smith gets a couple games, huh? Slashed up Konechny. How do you feel about that?
Hey man, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Eat Konechny.
Well, hey, isn't that your boy, dude?
It is, but like this was a dumbass play, and he deserved every last bit of that slash. I'm actually more upset that he got 2 games for the slash than anything. Like, yeah, it was a bad slash, but like,
yeah, no, that's worth 2 games all day.
We just watched Jacob Trouba try and take Trent Frederick's head off with a baseball swing.
See, okay, I couldn't agree more. But Trouba not getting suspended to me doesn't mean that Brendan Smith also shouldn't get suspended. Brendan Smith getting suspended means that Trouba also should have gotten suspended.
Yeah, but I mean, it just shows the favoritism in the NHL and the Dop's eyes. Like, if it's a guy who's, a household name, they're probably going to go, oh, he didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Guys, we've seen Trouba play for 8-9 seasons now. Like, come on,
we know how he is.
We know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Like,
and hey, we like Trouba on this pod.
Yeah, I love Trouba. I'm a big Trouba guy, but like, that's some horse right there. Like, he knew what he was doing. He knew where he was swinging. Yeah, you don't play hockey for 20 years and not have control of your stick like that.
100%.
I have never in my life taken a guy's head off like that.
That's so true.
Like, it's it's so true. But he's Trouba. So I feel a little bit
type of
about
way about that. Yeah,
especially because Konechny instigated it.
He did. Yeah,
Trouba just like out of nowhere just swung out of his cleats.
Just went for the pow, dude.
Yeah, he just went for a 400-yard home run. Like he just wound up on that thing.
I love it.
But like Konechny, Brendan Smith is clearly on. He's not even skating on 2 skates. He's on 1 skate, either hurt or gassed and getting off the ice.
Yep.
Has his back turned.
Yep.
Konechny hunts him down from 15 feet away, lays a 2-handed cross check to the small of the back.
Yeah.
And then gets absolutely whapped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Of course. That's karma. That's playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. And if you played that back 100 times, I would cheer for it every time. Hit him.
Ryan Hartman gets 2 as well. Speaking of injuries, nice little slew foot on the Brinket there. How you feel about that?
I hate slew foots, man.
Me too. That's a worthwhile suspension. I think we can agree on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that slew foots are classless.
Yeah, and I don't think it was like that one. I don't think was super like intentional. I guess like it wasn't that dirty in my eyes, but like because like you just slow everything down, and it looks like he thought all day about doing it, but like clearly he didn't. It was a split second in the moment, getting the kind of body position on him, and yeah, he puts the leg out, and so he deserves the couple games. It's dirty, but that's all I think it is. It doesn't need to be more than that.
Yeah, I mean, anything looks bad when you slow it down to 100 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be honest here. Like,
Yeah.
you could make anything look terrible. But,
yeah,
but like, I don't know. I just, like, I'm a Devils fan.
sure.
I watched,
really?
I watched PK Sluban. I've seen more than enough Slewfoots in my lifetime.
You did watch some.
I've seen some incidental ones. I've seen some very suspect ones.
Yeah, yeah,
And either way, I just think it's so just
yeah.
cheesy and
Just don't do
dusty.
it.
Yeah, it's beer league stuff.
Yeah.
It's like the goalie poking the skates out from the forward in front of the net. It's like,
Oh, I love doing that.
it's just so bush league. Like,
yeah, it totally is. Yeah.
Like I just don't see the need for it. It's stupid. And a guy like DeBranket too. Like, come on.
Yeah. What a season. Let's keep on Detroit here. Big one.
Woo!
Patty Kane adding another classic 06 jersey to his collection. He's headed to Detroit.
The Kane tour is in full effect.
Dude, is it ever? And I mean, like, it's just 06 teams and jerseys. Does this guy have like the greatest jersey run ever?
He might.
I don't even Kane ruined my life for years. When he was in Chicago, destroyed my soul and my spirit. Not just in Chicago as a Blackhawk against the Canucks, but I also despised him as an American on Team USA in the 2010 Olympics.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
but I mean, how perfect would a wall look that has Chicago 88, Rangers 88, Detroit 88? Come on.
As much as I hate the Rangers,
Yeah.
they got some timeless jerseys.
Yeah.
There's a reason it hasn't changed.
What else would he need to like fully
Like
have like the most classic lineup of jerseys? Like the obvious answer would be like, I guess the Leafs, but like God no.
No. And
Bruins, Boston probably.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's like too low hanging of fruit.
Too low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I think it's like a classic hockey jersey, but it's also like the black. He doesn't have the black and yellow colorway in his repertoire yet.
No, it's true. This is gonna sound like
Jonesy Jonesy looked over. Yeah,
I was gonna say Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Big J definitely.
yeah.
I think that a Kane jersey for Pittsburgh would be pretty sexy.
Yeah.
I kind of grimaced when I saw him going to Detroit, but then I saw the jersey hanging in the stall and was like, oh, that's clean.
I know
That 88 with that red
just gives you a little bit of a hockey boner.
it just pops, man.
Yeah.
It pops.
It pops.
I
Shout out to was it Daniel Sprong
Yep.
giving him the 88?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it
Daniel
is.
Sprong
Yeah, it
wearing
was
88?
Daniel Sprong. He was
Okay.
carrying the 88, and he relinquished it. Said that it was a timepiece, basically.
It is, right? Like he didn't have to. Kane didn't ask him, but that's a show of respect right there, a well-deserved one.
Yeah, I think he said something along the lines of like, this is a guy who inspired hockey in the States for years to come.
Yeah.
The kids that are playing now are playing
Yeah.
because of him.
Yeah,
It just
totally.
feels wrong to not let him have his number. Like Kane
Yeah.
wearing any other number is wrong.
Is wrong.
And good on you, man. That's classy.
That's classy, and I completely agree. Is he the greatest American player of all time?
He's getting there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could make
Jonesy,
that claim yet.
Can you pull up greatest American hockey players ever? Because I mean, you got to think what, like Roenick, Jeremy Roenick, Joe Pavelski,
Better than
Mike Modano, yeah, Leach, Chelios, Brett Hull. I mean, he's got to be up there. Like the guy's a lock for the Hall of Fame.
yeah.
He's got multiple cups. He's got how many games games played in points does Kane have? 1180 games played. 451 goals. Yeah, 1237 points. The guy's a lock.
He's over a point per game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
No big deal, huh? No
Yeah.
big deal.
He very well could be. I mean, when you like really factor in his Olympic prestige, all of the other awards, accolades, the cup runs,
and not just like there's the cup runs themselves, and like you look at the stats, right? Over a point per game, that's ridiculous. Some of these seasons he didn't even have the craziest like goal producing seasons, right? You know, early in his career, 25, 30, 27, 23. Nothing that really blows you away. But this dude in the playoffs scored big goals and sellied hard.
He was the backbone of the playoffs. Like,
I mean, he scored the cup winner in Philly.
Yeah, you think of the Chicago Cup runs, you immediately say Kane.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The most electric player. Kane has 53 goals and 85 assists and a plus-minus of +4 in 143 playoff games. He turns it on.
He turns it on. Every time.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, can you pull up that DB again, Jones? I just actually noticed something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see an over 50 goal season in this. Am I tripping? Am I missing something?
Yeah, no.
Closest he got was to 46.
Yeah.
That's nuts that we're even having this conversation.
Right.
But like he's so good and so well-rounded and so electric in intangibles that we don't even care that he hasn't eclipsed 50.
Right.
Like that's usually one of the first bullet points you have to go through if you're talking Hall of Fame scoring forward.
Like elite scoring forward,
yeah. Did he break 50? No? Yeah. Well, okay, well now the conversation gets a little hard. But
not with Patty.
Not here.
No.
Not here at all.
Crazy. Yeah. What a career. I think it's going to be we'll see how he looks in Detroit. Those hip surgeries, man. They historically you don't really come back from them.
No, I mean we're looking at Klingberg seeing the potential end of his career, so we thought. I've heard murmurs that he's actually doing pretty well in his recovery timetable,
we'll
which
see.
Is
nice.
Good for him.
Sure.
Never want to see anyone out for too long or out at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked so slow in New York.
Yeah.
Has he been training every day? Has he been hitting the ice? We don't know anything about his conditioning at this point either.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that Detroit's holding him out right now.
Totally.
Like, he's not entering the lineup right away. He'll probably take 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best bet, especially when you consider Detroit's actually playing pretty good right now. They don't desperately need him.
I mean, you can kind of put him in as a designated hitter, though, right? Which I like. I mean, once he gets going and they assimilate him in and all that, you don't have to have him be the guy because they've been playing so well, right? You can put him on the third line and have him basically be a power play specialist, and there's no problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Or you could do some creative, like, I mean, you have Fabry there. He's a center.
Yeah.
You got Comfort. He's a great center.
Yep.
Larkin is playing fantastic.
Larkin's
Larkin. Yeah. So, like, you have so much amazing center depth. You could really shake that line a lot of different ways to make some offensive potential.
Totally.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really intrigued to see how he plays because I think it's going to be a little bit rough. But, I mean, it's fairly low risk. It's not a lot of time, not a ton of money. You bring him in to juice up the group. I got no problem with it.
No, and it's a ton of experience.
Yeah, is it ever?
For a team that still needs a lot of experience handed down. Because, I mean, they do have experienced players now. Like, they did add a lot of, like...
They've got quite a few cups in that roster now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, we were talking about this team last year as, like, oh, they're so young, this and that. And then in this offseason, they added Perron, Kopp, Comfer. So, like, now they have a little bit more age with them. But, I mean, Kane just brings a special type of cup tenure that, like, you really want.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that these guys still just don't quite offer.
Right.
So
shout out Jeff Petrie as well. Shout out.
Always.
Oli Maata.
The boy.
Two-time champion, that one. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of experience in that room. It's hard to knock it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to be tuning into a lot of Detroit games. Yeah. I think that this team will actually be pretty interesting and electric to watch now.
Yeah.
Even if Kane doesn't perform to the Kane that we know or have the speed that we know,
Sure.
I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I agree.
If he's the trailing forward, who cares?
Who cares?
He's going to be the guy taking that shot. He has a deadly shot. And I mean, Fabry is a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be opening things up.
Yep.
Larkin has incredible game-breaking speed.
Of course.
And knows his way around setting a play up.
Yep.
I just think that they have way too much speed and way too much hockey IQ. I wouldn't even say talent, but just like the IQ to move defensemen into vulnerable spots,
Right,
and open up places for Kane.
Right.
I think we'll just see him looking more like Ovechkin than ever before.
Yeah. Let's go to Corey.
Oh boy.
Corey Perry. I actually don't think we have really too much to go through on this.
No, not really. I mean,
the picture is getting clearer, but we still don't know what happened, and I still don't want to speculate on it.
I don't want to speculate on it, but I do want to clear some things up because I have a distaste for the Chicago Blackhawks, and I want to speak on that again anyways. Kyle Davidson came out, and he made it very clear that it wasn't to do with anything of the players or their families, and he said all of these rumors are disgusting, quite frankly. Dog, shut up. You're disgusting. Your front office is disgusting. Your team's disgusting. And you know what? If you actually acted with some sort of values or some sort of, meaningful drive towards doing the right thing ever in your entire life as a franchise, we probably would have believed you right off the rip. And more so, the fact that you acted with so much secrecy makes it even more suspect. I get that it's an HR issue. I get that it happened with someone in the team who's an employee that isn't in the public eye, so it has to be handled differently.
Yeah.
It falls under more of a corporate guideline.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether it has to be more top secret or not, you are still a public window. Like you are the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
You are always in the eyes of the public.
Sure.
And the story went public. So you don't get a choice.
Yeah.
To be frank. And for you to turn around and say that, oh, these rumors are disgusting.
Yeah.
Dude, the rumors wouldn't have ever happened if you just came right out and said, we're having some issues with our player.
Yeah.
We're not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
We're taking a break. You didn't even have to say player assistance. You didn't have to throw him under the bus for having alcohol issues or whatever it is. And we'll get to that with his statement.
Yeah.
You literally just had to say, we're at an indifference right now between the upper management and the player, and we are going to be working it out on our own.
Well, that's the big thing, right? Like, because when they first sat him is when those rumors started. And they were already viral and flying around when Davidson held that presser. And even before that, when they announced the termination of the contract, there should have been some sort of squashing of that before they terminated the contract.
Way sooner.
Yeah. Because it just, as soon as that happened, it just cranked up to 11.
Yeah. My 2 bullet points here.
Yeah.
1, fire your PR team.
Sure.
That's a joke. If you're paying someone, and I'm sure you're paying someone on retainer.
They're paying a team. Yeah.
They don't deserve it because this is an absolute circus. I have not seen a media story handled so poorly by a franchise, maybe ever. And that's nuts.
Not their last one.
I mean, at least they owned up to it and kind of couldn't hide from it. This is they're making way more problems for people that aren't even involved. Like your star player, your number 1 draft pick, franchise center for
is getting
15 years.
Is getting asked questions about it by reporters now.
As much as it's on the media and it's a disgusting question and it shouldn't be speculated on, that's their job. And they're doing their job because you didn't do yours. Weird. If you just owned up and said, we're at a loss with our players right now and we're taking a break, we're stepping back and we're going to have a conversation in the next week.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. That eliminates every rumor that was problematic and caused an issue between you and your star player.
Control that narrative.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I will say that there were some media members that I was rather unhappy with this week as well that clearly knew that wasn't the case and let that story get wild before they said they knew.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, there has to be accountability on all points,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, media members need to do better, especially the big ones that drive the headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, Frege handled it really well.
Of course, he always does.
As he does. He's a very respectful person.
Yeah.
But there are some people in the positions of Frege that are on the ESPN panels that didn't handle it so well.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit gross and nasty. And like, yeah.
Yeah, we're just, if you're listening, we're not explicitly saying what the rumor was, but you guys can find out for yourself. I don't want to give any more merit to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, my final thought, closing statement, your fault. Your fault all the way. And you didn't protect this kid, and now he's being bombarded, and he has a distaste for your organization probably, and he deserves to.
Yeah.
He's entitled to that.
Bring him home.
Yep, you got to fix it.
Yep. Bring him home to Vancouver, perhaps?
You know?
Vancouver's making some moves right now.
Yeah, I will say, like, I don't like just like pumping rumors left, right, and center, but I did see an article that came up that Bedard was rather unhappy with management and how this was handled, and
the Beach one,
and he already had a distaste for them with the Kyle Beach incident, and so I don't know if the re-sign is really gonna happen.
Bring him home. He could be the first like superstar RFA that doesn't sign the second contract.
That'd be crazy, but
it would be awesome. Actually, I think that would be great for the league.
It would be great for the league, great for the players, great for the NHLPA.
Yep.
I think that we're in an era where players need to like actually exercise the fact they're in a union way more.
Yeah, totally. They have like, I think players have realized since Matthew Tkachuk did it first that, oh snap, we actually got some power.
Yeah.
Utilize it.
Yeah, you don't have to play somewhere you don't want to. If you really hate it there, say something.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, you wear that logo on your chest, and that logo is a reflection of you at the end of the day in some way.
Yeah.
You can't separate yourself from it all the way. So, if you really don't like it, leave. Go ahead. Speaking of Vancouver, actually, do we want to get into Corey Perry's statement? No. Yeah, if you guys want, you can look into it. He released an official statement. He's getting help from some specialists with drug and alcohol abuse and psychological stuff on his own. He's not getting the league's help. He's not getting the team's help. He's going to handle it by himself. And as long as he's getting help, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Want the best for you. We talked about it last week with Sam Girard.
Sure.
If you need help, get help. You're better for it.
Yep.
Very proud.
Let's move to Vancouver.
Yeah, let's dive in.
The future home of Connor Bedard dealt out Beauvillier for a 5th-round pick on Monday. I got no qualms with that move in itself. I mean, you acquire Beauvillier in the Horvat deal. You know, a year later, you flip him for a late pick, but you get an asset for clearing $4.5 million in cap space. That's a net win, in my opinion.
Yep, in this league right now with the cap and the fact that you're contending for the cup right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you can just kind of go, oh, the cap's going up next year.
No.
You got to make it work now, too.
Yeah. And then you flip that 5th with a 3rd out to Calgary for Zadorov. Zaddy is here, and my big question with this one, like the trade itself, we'll get into it. Don't mind it. But my big question here is, why did the Leafs not pay that? Especially because apparently Vancouver had to add the 5th because they're in the same division as Calgary. The price they wanted was just the 3rd. Why did Toronto not do that?
You know, it kind of just goes back to what I said about the Leafs earlier.
Yeah.
Do they really want to win? Do they really want to look in the mirror and identify what the issue is? Or do they just want to keep kicking rocks and going, oh, geez.
It's the same way I feel
Life's
about
so tough.
Edmonton as well. Edmonton and Toronto, dude. Like, y'all got to get proactive. What's happening?
Wake up and smell the coffee. Like, my God. You're
Dude.
going to get to the deadline. The market's going to be dry. And you had 4 easy buyouts. You had 4 easy solutions.
Yeah.
And you janked it on all of them.
Yeah.
You knew you had goalie issues.
Yeah.
And you could have easily landed Spencer Martin. Not that he's like the end-all, be-all fix-it, but like at least he's going to give you some relief.
Some games. Yeah.
He could at least get you some wins. We're seeing it already in his new team.
For sure.
So, I mean, like, why not? It's a cheap, very cheap. What was it, like a 5th or a 6th for him? Like, it was next to nothing.
Next to nothing, yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I completely agree.
And here, like, just look in the mirror and have a hard talk with yourself. Like,
Yeah, you're going to sit there and moan, we need defense. We don't have enough defense. What? This guy just went for a pick you have and can spend. Snooze, you lose, pal.
and more than anything, he went out and was like, trade me.
Yeah, to you.
Get me out of here. I hate it here.
It's crazy.
And the Leafs were like, that's cute. Gonna see what else is out there.
Not to make it like anecdotal here, but like I kind of had it this week, in our fan tracks like deep hockey league.
Yeah.
Made a big trade with Jay here for Quinn Hughes, right? It's a big one. Felt good. I had 3 different teams DM me saying, "Oh man, I really wanted Quinn Hughes." It's like, well, then you should have done it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, why didn't you ask?
Yeah. If you wanted to make it happen, you should have made it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. And, snooze, lose, Leafs, lose.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to suck. Happens all the time.
Yeah, and, Zadorov, that's a nice pickup for Vancouver. Is he a game changer? No. But I do think that the Canucks need the Zadorov-type defender, not in size and stature. Like, you kind of get him in Ian Cole. Ian Cole might be a little bit safer, but he's older. Zadorov brings a lot of that physical play. He's a rare player profile. Is prone to some blunders and stuff, but I think Vancouver has this problem where they only have either elite pieces or $1 million pieces. That's it.
Yep.
Zadorov brings a nice second pairing defenseman to the team.
Yes.
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah, and reliably too.
Yeah, exactly. Where you don't have to worry about the minutes every single night.
Yeah.
Ian Cole, shout out, he's been playing well, but you gotta nurture that dude's minutes so much that right now you're overplaying the hell out of him, and it's like, oh God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, especially if you get to playoffs. Like you saw what happened to Giordano in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, exactly.
He was riding 25 a night, and then they got to the playoffs, and he looked
so
like a
crazy.
dead horse.
Yeah, dude, he's 40.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then Toronto's just like, Zaddy, no thanks.
I don't get it, but hey, I'll take it. I think that's some clean work there by Alvin.
That's great work.
Yeah,
that's noticing a team that's in a vulnerable position.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a lot of leverage. The guy wants out.
Yeah,
and they have to do something about it sooner or later, especially if they want to contend this year.
Sure,
they've made it clear they want to contend still. They don't want to rebuild. They're trying to avoid this.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. Be proactive,
Totally.
and don't let it get to the deadline. Don't drag it out.
Totally.
The longer you let it drag out, the more the sticker's going to go up too,
Yeah.
because the more the desperation is going to go up, and the
Yep.
more the market's going to dry out.
100%.
As much as it sounds absolutely insane sometimes to be like, we should make a trade 2 months in, why not?
Why not?
If you know that you have the issue already, then do
Yep.
it. Like, I'm only a big proponent of huge deadline moves if something's happened like with the Devils, where
Yeah.
you might not have your star defenseman back.
Totally. Yeah.
Now it's very realistic to go out and be like, what can we get to supplement
To
this?
fix this, yeah.
We have holes that need fixing.
Right.
Whereas Toronto's had a hole for 2 years.
Yeah, we know where it is.
It's been an abyss.
Yeah.
And they just keep digging and digging and digging. I think Zadorov's going to make a great addition to the Canucks.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very much like the Hronek deal, where it's like you kind of look at it and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that right away. But
Yeah.
I think that the way that he's going to blend with the pieces you already have is going to lend itself to really allow him to explode back into what he could be.
Hope so. It's his childhood favorite team. He's really excited to be here, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's a beautiful story in itself.
Yeah,
I love
great,
that.
right? Let's quickly touch on Montembeault.
Yeah, the Habs made a move.
3 years, 3.15. Yeah, it's a good deal. Habs are turning some heads a little bit.
Jonesy, could you pull up the stats for Montembeault, please? Realistically, he's still got some growth to go.
Oh, for sure.
He's got some time to step into really like a superstar sort of role, and I think that's what the Habs are thinking here.
Yeah.
I think it's needed. They've had 3 goalies and a big question mark for way too long, and unfortunately, where they are in their rebuild, you kind of have to start making decisions.
Sure.
It's really great to have a lot of pieces, but eventually you need some certainty.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So it's good that they're finally making a step forward, because now they can actually make another decision on who's going to go with him.
Right.
And they can move that piece, the third piece, at the deadline.
Yeah.
When desperation is high. A
For
goalie's
sure.
probably going to get hurt.
For sure.
We've already seen goalies go down this year with season-ending injuries.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, goalies are one of those things where it's not that bad to sit on, but when the opportunity arises, pull that trigger fast, because they lose value fast, too.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I think this is incredible for where Montreal's at with their window, because it allows them to do so much at a head office level.
Right.
It won't affect the team. It won't make a difference on the ice this year. Sorry, Habs fans. It's not going to change how he plays, and it's not going to change the way you sit in the standings.
No.
But it is going to change how you can supplement your team moving forward in the next year.
Right.
Or even post-deadline.
Sure.
Like, you need another strong offensive defenseman.
Yep.
Maybe you could get a budget one that's kind of a little off right now for Jake Allen.
Yeah, totally.
That's a fair price.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Ethan Bear's under wins above replacement and not in the league skating at all right now.
No.
He is practicing, but he's not signed anywhere, so that's not really. But, you know, like an Ethan Bear type where they have offensive upside, but they also haven't really been a breadwinner in their market.
I hope the Canucks get Bear signed pretty quick here, dude. I don't want to turn that into a bidding war.
I like Ethan Bear. I don't get what this league's issue is with him. Like, how are we gonna have Puljujarvi?
Yeah.
How are we gonna have Puljujarvi still finding a job in this league, but Ethan Bear can't?
No, he will. He will. It'll be a bidding war for him. He's just hurt right now.
Oh, is he hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's still recovering from surgery in the offseason.
But no one signed him anyways?
No, once he's back, the Canucks are going to sign. They want to sign him.
Okay.
Because he was a Canuck last year. He's still skating in Canucks colors when he's on the ice. He's back to skating right now. But he doesn't actually have a contract, and so the Canucks are hoping to get him for not too much, but I do think because he's a free agent, his agent, if he's doing his job, is saying, well, it's cool you want him, Vancouver, but I'm going to go talk to these guys too and see what they want.
Yeah, I got 3 other emails
yeah,
right
exactly.
now. I don't know what to tell you. I'll make some calls and I'll get back to you.
Yeah. No, I quite like Barron. Yes, he will have a team. He's just still recovering.
Oh, okay, understood. I thought that he was just like unsigned, like the Phil Kessel situation. And it's like,
right.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Also, what are we doing?
With Phil the Thrill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Can we talk about that? I know it's not on our notes.
No.
This is usually a very organized playlist, but like, let's bring it up.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I mean,
I get he's old and he's kind of big, but like he's
Phil the Thrill.
He's Phil. He still scored 25 last year, did he not?
What were his Phil Kessel stats last year?
36 points.
14 last year.
Unreduced usage in Vegas without power play time.
Did he play 82 games last year?
Yeah.
Oh, they sat him for the playoffs.
They let him keep his Iron Man because he got his Iron Man in Vegas and they gave him a special jacket. It would seem kind of trash if they healthy scratched him in the season, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I mean, he didn't play a game in the playoffs, did he? Hit the little playoffs mark? Oh, yeah. He played 4.
Did he?
4 games in the playoffs.
No, 2 assists. So, like, he's still producing.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't buy that, like, with how abysmal some of these teams are.
Yeah.
That you're going to tell me, and with the cap room that some of them have, that you can't afford to do a 1-year, $2 million contract.
I do think that there's probably a sense with Phil. You know, he's got multiple Stanley Cups now, and he just spent the last 3 years in Arizona before Vegas. He probably is only going to go where he wants to go, you know? I'm sure a team like, I don't know, San Jose would give him a contract. Is he going to take it? Nah. But
I mean, like, even some of the other
get caved in every night.
Some of the other contenders could still use Kessel.
Yeah, and sneak him in.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Devils could probably use Kessel.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like, as much as the Devils have a really, really strong first and second line, it kind of gets a little skinny.
Yeah.
Having that shooter might be what you need. Like,
It might be.
and like that cup pedigree.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
I get he's old and I get that he's falling off, but
Right.
so is Kane.
I also feel like maybe no team wants to be the one that has to break his Iron Man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's a conversation you can just have. You don't
Yeah.
have to
But it
just ask.
no, but not because of the player. That's the thing. I think that if you talk to Phil Kessel and you sit down, you have that conversation with him, hey, I will sign you, but we can't guarantee you'll play every game. I think he has no problem with that. I think from a media standpoint, you don't want to be the team that breaks Phil Kessel's Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be like a 5-day storm, and then it would never matter again.
Maybe.
Especially, like, any logical hockey fan is going to be like, yeah, it's 10 games before
Yeah.
playoffs.
I mean, most
You
hockey
want him
fans aren't
fresh.
logical, sadly.
I mean, I guess so. We see it enough in our TikTok comments.
Yeah, we do.
We have like people yelling at us for not drafting players on teams that didn't get selected at all.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's like no Arizona's on the board. Where's Clayton Keller, though?
Yeah.
He's a top center. It's like,
Okay, thanks, pal.
yeah. But thanks
No,
for
we get some gooders on there for sure.
Thanks for listening to the intro.
Yes, it's awesome. One more thing. You wanted to touch on the NHL revealing the jerseys
I did actually.
through AEW and the NBA.
Yeah, I mean,
Winter Classic jerseys, I should add.
I love this. Such a great call.
Yeah.
This is what I've been begging for years and years and years.
We talked
is
about it lots.
because the NHL just like the NHL operates a lot like the WWE, but in all the bad ways that
Yeah.
don't benefit it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Because the WWE is the WWE universe,
Sure.
and like nothing exists outside of that universe.
Sure.
Usually,
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll bring in a celebrity, but then it's like they get included into the universe, if you
Right.
will, like the Marvel timeline kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, the cinematic universe.
And the NHL does that, but the issue is that they don't have a big enough universe.
Right.
It's more just like Pluto, like the little planet that's no longer a planet,
Yes.
and they just think that's enough. And then they're always like, we're not making enough money, not enough people watch. And it's like, yeah, because you don't bridge out to different cultures and
Sure.
you don't invite other people in.
Sure.
You don't do
Totally.
anything that like is eye catching
Totally.
to invite someone into the universe to participate.
Yeah.
This is great. This is amazing.
Yeah.
You're reaching out to wrestling fans in AEW,
Yep.
which is fantastic because
sure.
wrestling fans are some of the most diehard people in the world.
Are they ever? Yeah.
Like, I watch wrestling casually again, and
Yeah.
like there's a show on Monday,
Yep.
there's a show on Tuesday,
Yep.
and there's a show on Friday, and then there's a pay-per-view every month.
That's a lot of wrestling.
And each show is 2 hours long, 2
Yeah.
to 3 hours long.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wrestling to watch.
Yeah, totally.
And if you miss one, you could miss something that's really big.
Right.
So they watch all the time.
Right.
Those are the people you want to be attracting to something like hockey.
Yeah,
with
100%.
such a long schedule where
100%.
it's so hard to garner attention
For that
halfway
long.
through the schedule.
Yeah.
You need the people that have that want and
Yeah.
need and drive
Yeah.
for that entertainment.
Yeah.
So I love the way that they're actually reaching into these different cultures and different worlds and different universes of interest
Of sports fandom. Yeah.
that will still Venn diagram a little bit.
Right. Totally.
And cross over, and you can actually like market it.
Yeah.
You like wrestling, you like violence, hockey's sports with violence. So
Yeah, exactly.
he clotheslines that guy all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Just go watch a Trouba game.
Yeah.
My God, he's coming off the top rope.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that.
So I just wanted to touch on that and be like, round of applause.
Keep doing that.
We usually yell at the Chell, but this time we're going to give a little golf clap. Thank you. And way to work with the NBA also, because I'm really tired of sports leagues always just acting like they can't interact with each other.
I know.
And it's so corny. Like, it's like you're either a hockey fan or you're a basketball fan. It's like people can watch both, you know.
Well, why not?
Just because you play at the same time in the same schedule doesn't mean that like you have to like be so divisive about it.
Yeah, totally.
Like you should be encouraging
Work with each other.
Work with each
100%.
other.
Yeah.
Build your markets.
Yeah, 100%.
Chances are that you actually could get some really great crossover and boost both of your attendances.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that difficult.
No, not at all.
Especially when you're in a metropolis like Seattle or anywhere else that has a huge population of over 3 million and 2 teams. Yeah. Realistically, if you're only taking in 20,000 a night because that's your capacity.
Yeah.
How much are you really going to be stealing from each other at the end of the day if you do a good enough job marketing and creating a community?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, some of these arenas share the space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like it just makes sense.
Do the Clippers and Lakers both play at Staples? Yeah. Or I guess it's Crypto.com arena. My fault.
Whoops.
And the Kings as well. Yeah, all of them play there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, you just have to keep doing it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Build.
Yeah, totally.
Invite more people in.
Invite more people in.
And I actually wanted to say this because I saw a TikTok as well, and I thought it was really interesting. It was ways that we could make North American hockey better based on what they do in Europe.
Sure.
And this guy did a trip across. I don't have his ad. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
But he did this trip across Europe.
No credit.
Yeah, no credit. I'm so sorry. But he noticed that at one of the games, whenever there was a call, there was a thing on like the scoreboard above the ice, you know, the little video screen, and there was a definition of the call and why it's called for people that are new to the game.
Sure.
Because there's nothing worse than being somewhere that you're excited about for the first time, but having no clue what's going on.
What the hell is going on?
Being super lost and also being too embarrassed to ask because, like, you know, sometimes you don't want to look like the person that knows nothing.
Well, and sometimes you've asked 7 questions in the last 4 minutes, and you're like, okay, well, I can get by not knowing this one.
Yeah, like, you don't want to be annoying. You don't want to distract from, like, whoever you're there with, you know? I think that's really great. And if we just, like, not every game, but, like, dedicate certain nights and market them across different arenas and different leagues and have like a beginner's night or a newbie night where you have all of the little Ticketron things or the stat things that pop up during the game and tell you what it is instead of doing a panel in between the intermissions and talking about the same dumb crap we always talk about. With,
it's actually,
he's contending for points and da 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 da.
Even if you had it on a like a separate broadcast, like the way Peyton and Eli have their second broadcast of the same game going. I like that idea because I bet you, like, if they did something like that for the NFL, I know Carly would watch that for sure.
I would watch it.
And they need that for hockey.
I have a fairly good grasp on the NFL, but there's still, like, I don't understand, like, the plays they're calling, the switch routes, the audibles. I'd love for, like, in between the plays when they're doing nothing, for someone to just step in with a freeze frame and be like, what they're doing here, this is called a shotgun formation.
Yeah.
This is a reverse shot or whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't play football. But, like, you know, explain it to me because I want to know. It's cool.
100%. 100%.
But I won't ask because I know it's too complex to ask someone in between a play and have them break it down in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Do it. Like
in
market
the
yourself.
38 seconds you get between plays.
Yeah. So like work it into a broadcast and in the intermissions, go through like standard play styles. Go through like standard coaching, like, you know, whatever.
Definitely.
Like make it tangible for people that don't follow hockey. Yeah. And then you'll probably get repeat viewers.
Yeah, probably.
Because once you understand, there's like this human element where you just want to know more.
Right.
Like anything. You go, oh, I get that now. Well, what about that?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So like I think that would just be unbelievably useful, like just so useful for the league.
Yeah. I love it.
That's all I got. That's my rant.
Yeah, I love it.
Good job, but let's do more.
I think that's it. I think that's all we got for this week.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, dude. It's been a blast, as it always is.
Absolutely. It was fun as hell.
Yeah, a lot of hockey coming up this week. Some exciting games. We're hitting December now, so holidays are coming up soon.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yep.
It's December 1st, actually. Ho, ho, ho.
Well, it's December 2nd, but
that's
okay.
Happy holidays. I'm a big Christmas guy, so
yeah. We love Christmas. That's TikTok.
We're a big holiday pod, so
TikTokmas, yeah. Yeah.
Are we doing a Christmas special again this year?
Yeah, let's do one.
Yes.
Why not?
I love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The video got corrupted on our last Christmas special, and
That
we
was
had like the
tragic.
whole studio done up. I was in like
know.
a Christmas sweater with my Christmas hats.
And I was in Mexico, so we couldn't even redo it or anything.
I know. Oh, that everything
hurt.
just went wrong. We made it work though.
Yeah, well, we'll have a good one this year.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone, have a great week. And as always, keep your head up.
Keep your head up. Boom.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick